World Party was an English band slash solo project. So Carl Wallinger, who's been the central person and also for some time had this name as a solo project, was a Waterboy, as in a member of the Waterboys. He left that band in 1986 and started World Party. To start with it was a recording project, and he played most of the instruments himself. By 1992, they were a band of four, and by 1998, they were a solo project again. So he was a solo project again, I probably should say. Um, Under this name, 5 studio albums have been released. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was the second album by Will Party, and it's my first time listening to it. So I didn't realise until I read about it that it was mostly him. So what I normally do is a blind listen, a read up, and then a listen, an informed listen. And it wasn't until I did the read up that I realised that this was mostly a solo project, and I think that's testament to how convincing he is playing along with himself that he's a band. I think also partly it didn't occur to me because at the time when this came out, I saw a TV appearance of, I think it was Put the Message in the Box. And there were several people in that appearance. So I think as I could understand why he would do that. But at that point, I just assumed that it was a band. So it's an album that I've been aware of, not that I've heard it before, but I had, friends who'd got it, and I knew it was well thought of, but never picked up a copy. I've been tempted sometimes, and I do have memories of kind of, going to what was by then a CD shop predominantly, or various of these, and I'd go and think I want to maybe buy something new, and I'd go and flick through stuff, and this would be one of those that I regularly would go, maybe, and then I presume I just got, found something else that I just wanted more at that point or wanted to try out. So it was always kind of in the back of my mind that I might get it, and I never did. And it's got a nice cover, which has attracted me. But also, as I say, I'd heard at least one of their tracks, maybe two of their tracks separately, and knew it was well thought of. So let's do some description. I think I would describe it as pop rock, but it's also got kind of elements that. So I think these things overlap quite strongly. Singer songwriter, which is I usually apply to music where there's a key central person who's writing the songs, and usually it also means that there's a certain kind of variety to the musical backing of it. And this is pretty varied musically. I'm going to reference Beatles here and ELO. There were times that not only did it remind me kind of musically of ELO, but also production-wise, to the extent that I wondered if Jeff Lynne had got involved in production. I know he did with some stuff. To Billy Joel, there's one track, and I'm going to forget which is the name of the track. Let me just flick. God on My Side is a track where when it starts, it sounds really like Piano Man by Billy Joel. I'm going to reference Elvis Costello as well. I think the musical quality is Elvis Costello. The lyrical quality isn't as kind of witty and involved as Elvis Costello's stuff is. And then another reference I'm going to throw in here is Prince, which is unusual in that kind of context because Prince generally doesn't fit here. But apparently, Carl Wallinger is a big Prince fan. And there is one track that sticks out as being very Prince influence, which is Show Me to the Top. But it does feel out of place to me for the rest of the album, but only just because it is very varied. There's also at one point, I'm going to reference something that is probably not very well known. In fact, I know it's not very well known at all. There was a band from San Francisco called Jellyfish that I absolutely loved. And they had this thing of doing dense vocal harmonies in a particular way. And there's one track, and I can't remember which track it is on this album, where a very similar technique is used to get this kind of vocal harmonies that make it like a big pad sound from a keyboard. It's great. So there's elements of folk, there's rock, there's country, yeah, which is something that I'm tended to be less drawn towards, but it's still all right. It's musically interesting and varied. There's some nice playing. As I said, it's very convincingly feels like it's a band, or maybe even several separate bands because of the differences in feel. I feel like if there is a criticism, that it kind of loses identity a little because it's been so varied. And because he's able to sing in different ways, so he can sound like different people at various times, quite versatile in his singing, I would say, and quite good. Songs about all sorts of things. There's a particular focus on, it's kind of a love song to the world. There's Thank You World, especially, is like that. There's a kind of mild environmental, you'd think, thing on. And I've always kind of taken, I don't know if this is true, the title of the album, Goodbye Jumbo, was to be about diminishing numbers of species on the planet. And so, part of the message here. I might be wrong with that. I'm sorry if I've got that wrong. So I enjoyed it. It's rich and varied. It's good. It's well done. It's engaging. It's the kind of thing that I like, definitely. Um, and as always, at this point, I'd like to invite you to tell me what you think. So, what do you think of this album? Please, let's elicit some comments. I always enjoy comments. The next review that's going to be on this channel is of Page One by Joe Henderson. So that's it from me for now.
Baby, you're cute in your little black hat. You had a dream, but it won't come back. It's waving to you from the top of your hill. For 20 years, man, he's living there still. But you've been